Switzerland, they've played 2 games. Some of these teams have only played 1. And still 4 teams trying to get off the mark here. All in action this afternoon. So as you can see, the teams are all just making their final preparations. Elsewhere on the pad this afternoon, China and Switzerland on sheet A, Sweden and Scotland on sheet C, and Russia and Italy on sheet D. Two teams did draw for hammer in the first end before the game began. Canada came out on top with a draw to the edge of the button by Rachel Holman. And we'll have the last stone in the first end. Canada will be wearing the red and throwing the red stones, while Latvia will be wearing the white and playing the yellow stones. So Kenny, we've got a pretty clear favourite in this one. What do you think the game plan is for these 2 teams today?
Well, I think it's really important for Latvia to keep it really close and try and take it down the stretch, maybe 8, 9, 10. And for Canada, really pick their spots with the corner guards, get in behind them, utilise them, and don't get sucked into the sort of the messy type of play that the Latvians are probably most known for. Just maybe control the scoreboard. I've seen Latvia throw this one in to the house, so maybe they're just not going to go too aggressive at the beginning of the game. Like we said, keep it nice and clean. So at least a wiggle for Team Canada in the lead.
Yeah, something Sander and myself talked about this morning in our featured game was the importance of controlling the scoreboard, and Rachel Holman's really a great example of that. She really looks after the scoreboard, and she doesn't wait until the second half of the game. She does it right from the get-go. She's always very happy to blank the first end and start getting the hammer and the even ends right from the start.
Dace Muncha. Hits and rolls to the edge of the 12. It's interesting to see a few fans in here this Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, the home support really turning out to see their national heroes in action. Rules of play, 6 ends must be played in the round robin stages, and both teams have 73 minutes to complete their quota of stones. And they will be entitled to 1 coach interaction along the way as well. Kenny, yesterday Canada looked a little bit nervous out there in the first draw against Scotland. Think they'll be a little bit more relaxed today?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. I mean, I think going up against Scotland in the first game, probably 2 of the favourites clashing early on isn't what both teams would have wanted, but you've got to play everyone in a round robin situation. And Canada did look a little nervous, so maybe just needing a win here would get the train going for them.
Absolutely, I'd really like to see the Canadians just be patient out there today. Things might not go all their way right from the start, but I think they need to be confident that they can really control this game, and that their superior experience and technique is going to show through in the end. I think their communication wasn't the best I've seen it yesterday afternoon, just perhaps due to the nerves and the pressure of the situation, the new situation for them with playing in their first senior Women's World Championships. So just keeping talking to each other and everyone fulfilling their roles and responsibilities, and I quite fancy Canada to take this one down.
Alexandra Bicci for Latvia.
Alison Krevizok was a little bit out of sorts yesterday. Made a bit of a mistake earlier on, just tripped on the foam bumper and burnt the running stone when I hit and roll out in the third end, cost a steal to Scotland. So I think it's really important that Alison gets off to a good start this afternoon, tries to build some confidence during this round robin. Here's Yeva Krusta. I think both teams will be quite happy with the way this first end's panning out. Sure, Latvia, there'll be some nerves coming up against the force that is Canada here in their hometown, but at the same time, I think it'll be nice for Canada just to ease themselves in gently. They did well in the first end to give up a 2 as Emma Mescu lays her first stone of the game.
Yeah, hits and runs with that one, Logan. I don't think they'll be too worried with that. But what it does do, it gives Latvia the chance to find their draw weight. Something Canada wouldn't want to do early on. So this one coming down into the house, no problem at all, and sure Canada will just play the takeout. So Rachel Holman had quite a successful season so far. A couple of spiels back home in Canada, and also winning the Scotties. So
that looked exactly the same as my first one, but it curled at the end.
Yeah, they even won their first slam this season as well. So it really has been a lucrative season for Team Holman. Really looked a class apart at the Scotties as well.
Yeah.
It's a slightly different scenario for them though. They're very much the big fish in a small pond now rather than the big fish in a big pond, and they've got to deal with all sorts of things like being outside of Canada, going to Europe, different food, travel arrangements. It might just take them a few games to get into this competition and adapt to play their best curling. So Latvia making a confident start.
yeah, it's what we expected. We expect to be pretty clean, and maybe try and take Canada down 8, 9, 10. I think Canada will go aggressive in the second end with the corner guard, just ignore Latvia to put it in the house. First look at Rachel Holman.
Whoa, whoa. Okay, yep. Whoa, yep, whoa.
Maybe getting a little bit close to that wide one, Kenny.
Yeah, I would say there's no need to. I would have probably elected to roll the other way.
Maybe we can roll out there.
Keep it nice and simple in the
Well,
first.
it depends what she does.
Retain that last stone advantage.
I think that's maybe something that Miss Q and Holman are just starting to consider now, is maybe that it wasn't the best idea to roll that way. Might make it just a little bit difficult to roll out the rings to blank this first end, and then maybe I'll have to go the longer route across the house. So Stasa Sarsuna will just want to bang this one right on the nose. Rolls all the way to the centre line. Nice shot there by the Latvian skip. And two nice nose hits to really get some confidence right at the start of this fourth round encounter. Big weight here from Rachel Holman. No interest in sticking around here. And does a good job of that. Hits and rolls out of the rings. The first end of our featured game between Canada and Latvia will be blanked. And one end played here is Canada 0, Latvia 0. Second end underway in this fourth draw. Latvia again choosing to go into the rings. I think they'll know that Canada will throw the corner guard here.
Yeah, certainly Logan straight away. They're going to try and score the even ends and try and mix it up a bit.
Looks heavy. Felt like it's heavy.
Nice delivery there from Lisa Weigel. Something Canadians have probably got over a lot of the teams here. The release and their slide is technically very, very good.
Good. Kaylee.
I think that's a good position for a corner guard, Kenny.
It's just about perfect, really. Maybe 68 inches closer to the centre line, maybe.
Why would you want it closer to the centre line?
In terms of you want to cover a little bit of the 8 foot, I mean that's only covering 12 foot. You don't want it too close to the centre, obviously, because then it would block your route down into the 4 foot should you need to bail out at any time. Interesting call, Logan.
Yeah, Rachel Holman choosing to ignore the stones in the centre line and go around the corner. We'll see how this works out for Rachel. I think that they're playing against this Latvian team. They do need to be aggressive, but maybe a kind of balanced aggression. They don't need to set their stall out too early and go all in. Could maybe play a take out on that stone at the front of the tee line, and I think that, although you never like to play for misses, you've got to expect that you might get some from this Latvian team.
Yeah, it does get in behind. You can just about see 2/3, I think, of this stone in behind the corner guard. So would you be going at this at hack weight, or would you be coming down at just at the back ring weight, Logan?
Maybe tempted to throw a little bit less weight. Certainly, this looks like a monstrous weight. It's a lot more than hack. Just a little wobble there, but it's always the worry about going around the corner guard is that if you are on the tight side, you would generally roll to the centre line anyway. But Beachy doesn't really get that one where it needs to be.
Do you like the hit and roll?
Sorry?
Do you like the hit and roll, or
Which one?
the top?
I don't think you can.
So Canada got the
There's
mistake
control.
they were looking for it, and
Curl here,
now
I'll believe you.
Rolling your way.
they have the opportunity to remove that stone at the top
Curls like crazy.
of the 8 foot and roll in behind the corner again.
Just control. Yes. Whoa. Yes. Control.
Pass and drift shoot
Whoa.
for Canada.
Fired him. Okay. That's pretty good.
Doesn't manage to get roll in behind.
Yeah, I think they were trying to roll away there. They're just trying to separate their stones out. The only problem with that is that they have rolled over and covered the short stone, which they will need to move at some point to bring the one in behind the corner guard into play.
Okay, ņem ārā šito.
Deviņiem. Tas jau bija 8,5.
So big shoot with a chance to
Gaidām.
remedy what she made with her first effort. Oh, super shot. How do you like those apples?
Yeah. Rachel Homan giving that one a little bit of a rueful smile. I don't think she could quite believe that. He just flicks a piece and makes a perfect double takeout.
We're a little bit tighter than Lisa's. Do you think that'll come down?
Yeah, I don't think you can get two shots further apart than those two that Beakshire laid in that end. So still not too much threatening the Canadians really in the second end. There's nothing on the centre line. They've got their corner guard to work with as well. Super line calling by Rachel Homan, squeezes that one back in behind the corner guard. And Latvia not out of trouble yet. Meanwhile, on sheet C, Sweden and Scotland going toe-to-toe in this fourth draw. Maria Pritz with her final stone of the first end. And looks like a potential 3 on the cards here. Needs to get to the inside nose in this yellow. Margareta Sigfridsson squeezes that one out with the brushes. And it will be a score of 3 for Sweden, a disaster start for Scotland. And one end played there, Sweden 3, Scotland 0.
Latvia looking to run the guard back in this one. No. Good see enough round outside.
Yeah, they actually passed that guard comfortably as well. So maybe just overrolled there. And the home crowd showing their appreciation for that one. There's Canadian coach, long-term coach of Rachel Homan's team, Errol Morris. Of course, father of Olympic gold medalist John. This one might have to grow some teeth. Sasa Satsuna does its best to try and get that one through. And there's Nicole Strauzak, the Latvian coach. Sure, she'll be quite content so far with her team's performance.
Probably don't want to hang around with this, Logan. Probably want to roll away.
Yeah, another good take out by the Latvian team. Just doing a good job so far of keeping this Canadian team at bay, not allowing them to build up any red stones in the house.
Great sweeping action from Team Canada. Hardly got it past though.
Just the smallest of touches on the guard.
Great weight, Em.
More and more you start to see that the sweepers are getting given more and more responsibility over draws and touch shots for the line call as well. Sometimes the sweepers can see that a break almost starts to break before it starts to break, and very much the skips just providing the sweepers with line calls rather than the kind of old philosophy of the sweepers providing the skip with the weight calls. So it's really starting to move in the sweepers' favour. Their responsibility to put the stones where they need to be, but of course they need all the information from the skip to allow them to do that.
So we'll need to hang around top of the tee line with this one, Logan. Oh. Don't think that's what they were going for there.
Yeah, that's a massive miss.
I don't really think the corner guard was in play either.
Šaurāns bija? Viņš bija lēns 9. Pajautā, cik viņš bija pēc laika.
Okay, so
Viņš bija lēnāks?
Satsuna wanting to swoop in off on that one, try and make something out of that shot off the corner guard.
I know. Okay.
This part of the game is that you won't always make the shot perfectly. It's just trying to get the best result possible, and
It's like I came
on that
I was
occasion
like
they managed to
here on my
roll
draw,
one
and
into
it
the
curled
rings.
more than the one on center, so I think there's some ridges.
I'm not sure the hip though.
Okay, so we draw then. It's just I think
Yeah, I
maybe
like this call, playing the
a little
the freeze
more
in the
ice
back
than
one.
before.
No need to play the hit.
Unless like you've seen one.
It's up to you. Master control.
Okay.
No, so I'm deciding against that. Maybe think the ice just isn't as consistent as they would expect.
I think it's a pretty marginal call here.
Control. Okay.
The stone's in a good spot that even if they did nose hit it, they're not really going to give
we
Latvia the
nosing,
chance for a straightforward double
What weight
takeout.
do you want, right? Control. Okay. Get down! Yep. Oh, yes!
Really going hard on this one with the brushes. They would like to stick it on the nose. And a nice shot there by Rachel Homan. Doesn't really leave any double takeout possibility, but it does leave a hit and roll.
Sweet.
Yeah, it does. I think I might be tempted to just have a go at the slash. Is it about half stone, Logan?
I think they're going to need to hit the top one really thin to make that slash double, maybe quarter stone. I always think you need to hit these shots a little bit thinner than it initially looks. quite often you can hit it right into the face of the stone, and just with the rotation you put on it by hitting it so thin that the stone spins through anyway.
Jā, maķenīt. Lai viņš paliek priekšā.
Jā. Labi.
So I'm quite happy for them to throw the hit and roll. I think it's a good option, and maybe aren't as accurate with the big weight as you were in your heyday, Kenny.
Maybe not, no. Gotta make sure it's hitting something, no, Logan.
Skaties dubulto.
Skinny double.
Has she got it? Has she got it? She's got rid of one. So it was about half stone she caught, Logan, so I wasn't far away with the call. But she certainly hit the jackpot there.
I think Rachel's still lying short though, so it will just be a draw to the 8 foot.
It might be a touchscreen, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a test of the Canadians today. They're going to need to stay patient out there and accept that their weaker opposition are going to play some lucky shots from time to time.
Yeah, keep your extension.
They just have to trust that their experience and greater curling intelligence is going to show through in the end. Rachel Holman, final stone of the second end, and just needs to find the 8 foot for the deuce.
Line's the same as the draw. Looks like lots. Should be okay.
So this one coming down into the 4 foot, and it will be a score of 2. And that's the start what Canada really needed to build their conference after yesterday evening. So after 2, Canada leading 2-0.
Canada 2, Latvia 0. And Lisa Weigel, sorry, gets us underway in the third end.
Switch to finish, guys. Corner guard. Hard as close as you can get it in if you can. Go.
I think top 4 was a call there, but coming up a fraction short. Latvia call for the corner guard. So Kenny, now Canada have got a lead, and Latvia are probably going to need to play a little bit more aggressive. How do you think this might kind of pan out over the next few ends?
I don't think Latvia need to be too aggressive yet. They're only 2 down. They don't feel as if their back's against the wall yet. And they only need to score a single, maybe force 1, score a 2 back, and they're right back in the game. So they don't need to go crazy yet.
So just hold that thought, Kenny. We're going to switch over and have a look at China and Switzerland. China scoring 1 in the first end and really needing a win to get themselves on track here in this Women's Championships. Really needing Olympic points this week, the Chinese. And here's Silvana Tirinzone. Big team scrub here, trying to get this one down there. And they do manage to do enough to drag that one down into the 8 foot, and it will be a score of 2 for Switzerland. 2 ends played there, and it's Switzerland 2, China 1.
Great shot there from Lisa Weigel. Right round and tied centre guard onto the top of the floor. It's exactly where you want it.
Yep.
Great stone positioning.
4. Es domāju. Ja 5. 5. 5. Diezgan plati rāda. 5.
So I think Latvia might be trying to split the centre guard here, taking a leaf out of Rachel Holman's book. Trying to chip the red guard off and roll behind the corner. And they seem to have found a good line here. Oh, really nice weight. That's the key to that shot, is the controlled weight, just the backline weight, bump them over and open up that centre line. Canada won't be keen to leave any yellow granite around in the house.
She hit this rock.
I hit this rock.
I would say it's up here.
Yeah.
Rach, I think it's up to them to move it.
I know, I'm just letting her know that we moved it.
Okay.
Okay, so
I knew the rock this time.
I think it's maybe Emma Miskew just kicked that yellow corner guard up there on the forward sign. But gets put back pretty much where it was before.
Tu jautā? Aizej, Ieviņa, aizej.
I think the problem that Latvia have here at the moment is that corner guard's not in a good enough spot. If it was a bit closer to the centre line, like you said before, Kenny, and a bit closer to the house as well, then they might be able to try and make a play to get in behind it. But it really is pretty pointless at the moment. It's going to be so easy to access for the Canadians if they do go behind it. So they may be trying to think about a different option. Maybe using those red stones as corner guards in the house, Kenny.
Yeah, I think that would be the call, just to play the in-turn draw.
Mixed fortunes in the second end for Glacier on the takeouts. How's this one going to work out? Doesn't manage to stick the shooter. I don't think you'll see that corner guard stay there for much longer.
So, you expect this is going to move, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
So a nice peel played there by Alison Krausuk. And looks like a takeout being called by Latvia, but right next door, here is Eve Muirhead of Scotland facing a few Swedish counters, already trailing by 3 after a really nice shot by Maria Putz in the first end. Big effort needed here by Adams and Hamilton. Sloan coming to help, needing to cut a piece of the 4-foot and won't even reach the 8-foot. It will be a steal of 2 in the second end for Sweden, and a horror start for the Scottish. 2 ends played there, and it's Sweden 5, Scotland 0.
Going this way. I think so, Em. Maybe a touch more.
Wheat's close. Even. Wheat's good. Stay with it. It's really curling. It's really
So
curling.
Latvia
guys.
hit one of those red stones meanwhile and rolled out of the rings.
No, I don't want that.
This one even.
Canada now in great shape to force here in this third end. Emma Miskew splitting the rings once again.
Labāk jau laikam nē. Jā, tas ir augstāk. Jā.
Yeah, I think Latvia will just continue to play the takeout. There's no real need to try and draw in behind these yet. Maybe your skip stones maybe make an effort to try and drawing in behind, but play it safe. Hope for a mistake out of Canada, you might be able to blank this end.
Kenny, obviously Latvia qualified as the home nation this year for the World Women's Championships, up against the power that is Canada. Do you think there's a danger that Latvia might give them a little bit too much respect and probably not go aggressive enough at the risk of losing a big end?
You're possibly right, but certainly at the World Championship level, you've got to, if you're going to go on and win a game here at this level, you've got to play your own game. Just ignore who you're playing against and take it from there, really.
Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you lose by 1 or 10. It's still just one win that goes up on the standings board. A nice hit and roll there by Latvia. They might get a chance to play a double to get out of this end with a blank.
Yeah, for sure. I think they were normal. It's going to go hard, eh? It's going to go hard. Yeah. You want to try see the out turn? Sure. Normal? Let's see the out turn. Let's see what it does. It's pretty straight, I think.
You're trying to roll my way a little?
We can go like a foot Allie's way or all the way over to your side.
Okay. Normal?
Yeah.
Normal.
Normal. Whoa. Whoa. Lean it. Whoa. Gonna come out. Yep. Good there.
Nice throw.
Yeah, great stone positioning. So, with this one, Logan, I would think I would be tempted just to play a draw around this one that they're
Straight like I
attempting
thought.
to take out. Maybe to the back of the forefoot.
Like it curled up.
Straight there like I thought.
Yeah, it didn't go hard.
Try and
It
maybe
did
make
come,
it two
but I
here.
didn't feel it'd be straighter.
More than likely
I
going to be
threw
forced
that
at
squat
score
in
1,
practice,
so
and feel it did come back. But it was all
why not try and make your two?
Ja, viņai tas otrs bija lēnāks.
Possibly, Kenny. I think
Tev arī
if
rādīja.
those red stones weren't sitting at a half stone double, I would probably, in fact, I would definitely agree with you, but I think it's a reasonably straightforward double takeout there at the moment. I certainly wouldn't have a problem with drawing around it, though. Still likely you're going to get forced by doing that, though. So, takeout has been elected by Latvia here. Don't seem to be going after the double takeout. Playing the handle going across the stone. You really need to see this as a chance to, if they're going to play the takeout, you need to see it as a chance to remove both of them. It's not enough really to settle for thinking you'll get a mistake from Rachel Homan.
Nearly done enough for Logan. But I'm sure Rachel Homan and Canada will be able to just peel this one out and
Alex tried to come back. We
ever
held
so
those
slightly to the right hand side.
Okay, normally. Yeah. Normal. Up. Lean it. Whoa.
Rachel Homan not messing around with this takeout. Reasonably solid hit coming down the ice.
Nice throw.
And makes the hit and stick. Team Canada just kind of keeping their takeout weight up at the moment.
Stars, heavy.
Just perhaps a little bit concerned about the ice conditions still. There's a lot of stones down that path before, so wasn't 100% sure about what it would do. So it looks like that will be good enough to force Latvia to draw for one.
They're getting one, I'm imagining. Yeah. Sorry. хорошо, right? So we
Good
can,
force, guys.
Yeah.
Man bija ātrāk, 7, man liekas. Uz to pusi.
Pilns Baltajā.
Es domāju, nu 7. 7. Jā, 7 pietiks.
7-0.
Jā.
So the numbers getting thrown around.
Varbūt bišķi
Around the hack there, they are discussing split times. Just to help the skip out with what weight to throw her draw here.
Tur ir balta. 6, 7, balts. 6, 7, vilnu baltā. 7, 8.
Just needs to find the 8-foot here.
Neko.
Mischief is going to do her best to try and drag this one through the 8-foot, but it will hang around and be shot stone. 1 yellow and 1 for Latvia. 3 ends played, and it's Canada 2, Latvia 1.
I think so. Yes.
Nevar pārkrīt, neko nevaram. Šāņam platāks ir. 8-3. Šāņam platāks.
So Kenny, do you think we could see our first tick shot of the game from Team Holman?
I think we might hear, generally when we talk about the tick shot, what happens with that one is you see the guard that's in play. Team Canada, Lisa Weigel will be asked to just split it off so there's 2 corner guards rather than the tight centre. So there we go. Bouncing the corner guard and rolls down into the house.
Surly's. Extra 4 plus. No, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, super shot there by Lisa Weigel. It's difficult to see how Latvia can get anything going if Team Canada keep throwing the tick shot. I think the key for teams really this week when they're playing against the Canadians is to get ahead of them at the start. It's going to be very difficult to get back into the game as soon as these guys go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're right with that, Logan.
Even places an additional importance on the draw shot before the game as well. Really important to get the hammer from Rachel and put it to good use at the start of the games.
So Weigel with a stepping stone, just been asked to draw around that corner guard that she chipped across. 82%.
Well, the thing is that yellow Latvian stone in the house at the moment isn't really of any threat to Canada. The centre's wide open, there's no guards around, and a really great opportunity here for Canada to push the button and try and open up some air between them and Latvia on the scoreboard.
Nē. 10? 10, jā, viņa saka. Man nepatīk šitie 10-nieki. Būs labi. Okay.
Sanda Bigche playing 75%. so far in the tournament. So chips the guard off and rolls to a centre guard. So a nice shot there by Glacier, opens up the second shot stone.
Grevsuk not firing on all cylinders in this game.
I think that number there, Kenny, was actually our stat from yesterday's game against Scotland. That was our tournament accuracy, which doesn't actually include the shots from this game so far. So she really struggled yesterday, and she'll be looking to put in a better performance this afternoon, and she's definitely doing that so far. She looks a lot more comfortable out there, and she's not having to deal with her mistake that she had early in the game when she tripped and burnt Rachel Holman's stone in the second end to give up a steal. So Latvia are going to need to try and find a hit and roll behind the centre guard to get out of this one without losing a multiple score. But meanwhile, back over to China, Switzerland. We saw Terensoni draw for 2 in the second end, and here's Bing Yuang with her final stone of the third end.
Yeah, needing a piece of the button. See Switzerland already sitting one just in behind the red-yellow stone combination, and that one not even close. Drifting right through the house, and it will be a steal of 1. Switzerland leading 3-1 after 3.
Really held.
So another super takeout there by Krevizuk, really spreading the red stones across the house and making this hit and roll really difficult for Latvia. Got a long way to travel to get behind the centre guard. Eva Krusta playing 83% so far this week. And how does this one look? This one's going to roll right through the rings.
What do you like?
What do you like? Whatever you like. Okay.
I think you've got to go in behind this one, Logan.
Yes.
Not too deep though. You can't
Yeah.
afford to be
What do you
into the
think?
4 foot. You're probably going to go top 8 foot.
They just took a couple hits out here. They're the same.
I always quite like the idea, Kenny, of going around the guard here, but certainly erring on the side of leaving it exposed so that if Latvia did ever squeeze one in behind, Emma Miskew playing 75% this week. If Latvia did manage to get one in behind the guard, then they've got something to raise onto it. So maybe just going kind of edge to edge to the guard would be a good idea here.
Yeah, we're in. Front of the tee? No.
But first and foremost, Kenny, it needs to be in front of the tee line.
That's exactly where they didn't want it.
Really like to see this be a draw from Latvia. Really sees this as an opportunity to put a little bit of pressure on Russia. Been very defensive so far today. This could be a golden chance to push the button. So a good call here by the Latvian skip.
Lance.
Need to go hard with the brushes here.
just over curling, catching the guard.
It's such a hard for that though.
Have they made it in for second shot?
Well, I think Rachel thinks that they have. I think regardless of who's lying second shot, it's a good idea to move it anyway.
Okay.
Normal?
Down normal.
They could just draw one underneath.
Down normal. Clean it. Yeah. Control. Hard. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. Okay.
Okay.
So they do
That's
take
not
the yellow
bad.
out
It's a little soft.
and guard the red in the forefoot.
So down right.
Electing to hit and roll off the winger. I think I might be tempted to actually just play the draw around this Logan.
Tad jā, man ir taisnais, atceries.
A little bit more room for error.
Nu, jā,
Narrow
bet
up the
nav.
scoring area if you get something down into the forefoot.
Yeah, it's definitely an option, Kenny, but I think this Latvian team are just a little bit concerned about losing a big score and
Jā.
feeling like they might have embarrassed themselves in some way or something like that. It's not really the way to go about it, to be honest. I said before, it doesn't matter whether you lose by loads or just by one. The draw is an aggressive call, and maybe Latvia can make a perfect hit and roll into the button here.
No, I think the draw is the correct call, Logan.
Iveta Satsuna playing 72% so far this week. I'd say she's going to have to play a little bit better than that to beat Rachel Holman today. This one actually hits it on the wrong side and jams in the back one. Is it in the house? I don't think so.
Iekšā palika. Aizmugurē.
No, viņš ieskrēja. If I took it now, it's on the end of the world.
And you see that red
Yeah.
stone
Taking
just
right
at the
over.
back of the
It's
12
nice
foot.
because this is
Don't
tough,
think
but
it's
if we're up
counting.
Here, that's pretty good. Even if you're not leave her a double, but then she makes
It's
a
a
straight
blank.
roll out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I can split. Yeah, it's true. Sorry. No idea what it's gonna do here.
The ice looks good. It's a little stickier.
Slower here?
It's a little slower.
So would you be playing the split with this first one, or would you play it with the second one, Logan, if you get the chance?
I think you go for it with the second one. The first and foremost, you need to protect against the freeze. And if you do play the split, then Latvia could possibly make a hit and roll in behind their yellow guard, which might be tricky to remove.
Okay, you know your weight.
So
Same here? I think
they
it's
can
pretty
put more
close.
pressure on
I think it's
Latvia
close to
by coming
practice.
around this red guard. But as we said with the previous stone, must be in front of the tee line. Rachel playing 73% so far this week.
Line, yeah, line! Yeah! Line's good! Hard! Stop beat! Hard! Just stop beat! Hard, guys, hard! Yeah! Hard! Yeah! Hard! Push! Hard!
Line looking really good here from Rachel Holman.
Oh, absolute pistol. Exactly where you want to be.
Go farther than you thought.
So Latvia staring 3 in the face now.
You're in. Okay. I thought it was going to stop top
Yeah,
to
Take a look at the swooping action of Team Canada. Real good scrub from the front end. Get that one past the guard and into
I threw less than a good back the hole.
fully 8 foot.
I threw less weight than any draw I've thrown. Okay. Yeah.
Viņš var būt dubultajā un skaties to, lai virstās ārā. Vairāk nē, jo tad viņš ieskries tajā. Šitā.
Okay, Kenny, how do Latvia find their way out of this mess?
I think you've got to smash the red pretty much full in the face. It's just on the centre line. Try and drive it back and lift a double. You might lift all 3. Driving the yellow back, you've got to play it probably at hack weight. tap it back and freeze it, or a battering weight. Because you see the red that's just short of the house. If your yellow does bounce out of the house at a big weight, it's going to be splittable for 3.
No, for me this call kind of looks like the Latvians are quite happy just to lose 2. They just want to get one of the reds out of the rings. I agree. I think if you hit the red centre guard, you might have a chance of getting all the reds moving.
Must be pretty close with this one. How are they doing? Oh, it's just going to overcurl.
Well, the only saving grace here, Kenny, is that they might have actually rolled over and covered the split for 4.
I think you just...
I don't know, I think they're both pretty hard. It's just on this side.
I should have kind of actually
You
believe
gotta
they're
hit
considering
like an
the slogan. I think you
just
play
to
the
get it
scoreboard,
to
you just take your 3, you go 5-1 up.
Do you want to try and go by it? Just flip it? Sure. And then if I go by it, I hit that one. Okay.
I think it'll be pretty much the same draw here
Similar
from Rachel
ice, eh?
Holman.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit greedy to go for the split. I don't think there's any real need to go for it, but I don't see any harm in it at the same time. So.
Well,
I'm gonna try and split it.
do you like straight draw? I was saying I don't think you can
That's
see
pretty much
any
a
of
straight
it.
draw. Okay. If I clip it, we get 4. If I go by it, then we hit the one I just threw.
So just like back 12 weight?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't even need that much. Like we literally just need to touch it 2 inches.
Back
Okay.
4.
So
Yeah.
Rachel Holman doing
Okay.
the commentary for
Maybe
us
a
here.
couple more feet. Same draw as I threw as practice, I guess.
Just going to throw kind of back 12 weight and try and chip the one at the top of the rings. Try and score the 4, but I think the reality is that 3 is going to be more than enough to
Yep.
really put them in a strong position here in this 4th drop.
Whoa! Wait!
Yeah, gotta go wait. Yeah.
Having to go for the weight in this one.
Hard, guys, go! Whoa, if you can! Whoa! Whoa!
Ah. Just a little shy for weight. So it will be a score of 3. Canada now lead 5-1 after 4 ends.
A little further than you thought.
It looked like the momentum was kind of coming off. And
Welcome back to the Volvo Sports Centre here in Riga, Latvia. We're live for draw 4 of the Glacier, sorry, the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. And our featured game is Canada and Latvia. A couple of terrific draws by Rachel Holman in the 4th end. Secured the triple for Canada to really blow this game wide open in Canada's favour. They're leading the home nation by 5 shots to 1. My name's Logan Gray, and alongside me I have the expert, Kenny Edwards. Kenny, what expert advice do you have for Team Latvia right now?
Well, I think they've just got to throw the kitchen sink now. They trail by 4. If they're going to keep this respectable, they need to really knuckle down and focus on what they're trying to achieve within each end. to utilise the corner guard that they have up there now, and maybe try and pick up a 2 here, force 1 and 6, maybe try and pick up another 2, 7, get themselves back in the game.
It's in. I know, leave it. They're going to hit it anyways. Great shot. Nice throw.
Terrific setup by Weagle.
I think her second one.
She throws it.
3 pusi. Priekšā, nu labi, viņi paņēma platāk.
Looks like Latvia are going to play a takeout here and open up the centre plate. Don't want to get themselves into too much trouble as we go along here.
Nice effort, trying to get in behind the corner. Just not quite enough weight there.
I don't think I'll be too worried about that redstone still being in the house. They're going to want to keep some stones around that they can use to their advantage. More important to make sure that they hang their shooter around at all times. Doesn't quite get behind the guard, so Krevizuk will go for the takeout here.
Catches the guard. It's the first mistake we've seen from Canada.
Sorry about yours, right?
Just looks a little bit out of sorts so far this week, Alison.
Uz dātas pusi? Vienalga. Vai nu uz to, ja nē, tad... Jā. 4, jā.
So just come down and hit that one on the nose. Latvia looking good for a 2 here in this 5th end, just before the break.
Tas ir gandrīz tāds pats. Viņa tā kā rāda bišķi ātrāk. Jā.
Beakshead lays the takeout down here. Trying to make the hit and roll over in front of that red on the other side of the rings. Just sneaks by the top one, and that might not be good enough here. Might be a chance to slash those 2 yellows out there. While Rachel Homan works that out, we're going to have a look at Lucy Privivkova. And this is Sidorova, reigning European champions, playing against Italy on the end sheet. What have we got here? Draw to the 4-foot circle. Well, grind in time, and it will be a score of 1 red and 1 for Russia. 4 ends played there. Russia 3, Italy 1.
Būtu labi viņus bišķi labus padzīt.
Jā.
Varbūt ejam vēlreiz.
Tāds kā manējais dara arī. Tas arī bija laikam tāds.
Canada still lying 2 here in this 5th end. And Latvia still with some work to do here to score multiple points here before the halftime break. Got to think that that was a little bit soft for weight, that one. Rachel Holman just persuades that one through the rings.
So now Canada set 3. And Latvia are probably going to be forced to come away from that corner guard. We'll play the freeze in the back reds.
Yeah, absolutely. The other option might be to come around that red instead of the corner guard. Looks like they will play the freeze that you nominated, Kenny. Maybe you could still get a game for Latvia these days, Kenny.
I think it's about the only team I would get a game for.
I'm looking a little bit short. Need to make sure they get it down into a shot position though. Just scrapes into the 8 foot to lie shot stone. So this forced a takeout, at least from Rachel Holman.
Throwing the heat with this one. Massive kickoff by Rachel Holman.
Yeah, she doesn't mess about with these peels. Really throws down a pretty manly weight.
Just like a little tighter than I would have liked to throw.
And chips her out. Canada lying 3 here in the 5th end. So the Latvians are trying this freeze once again. So hits her right on the nose, but doesn't manage to keep any backing. And there won't be anything fancy here from Rachel Holman. Just get it out of there and force the one. Throwing a little bit less weight this time. Would probably prefer to stick the shooter.
Yeah, so setting 3, and that will just leave a probably just a tap back, a draw at control bait.
I wanted to roll it out so that she did the same shot.
Well, could just throw the same draw as they just played, the Latvians. So taking some time to think about it. This really is a must-make shot though for Latvia. So we're spending some time over it, and have decided to draw one into the middle rather than just the same line as they just threw. So Stasa Satsuna, you will need to find the 8-foot circle for this final stone of the 5th end. So how did it look? Sweepers seem pretty happy, and this one will glide down into the 4-foot circle, and the sweepers take that one on to the 1 foot just for good measure. Great draw by the Latvian skip, and a score of 1 in the 5th end. Going into the halftime break, Canada leading Latvia by 5 shots to 2. Okay, so let's see how the scoreline ended up. 5 shots to 2 at half-time. Here's Rachel Holman just needing to cut the 8-foot to score 2. And like you'd expect, very straightforward for a player of Rachel Holman's caliber.
We'll talk after. Sorry? After.
And then on to the 3rd end. It would be Latvia's turn to draw the 8-foot. After some nice takeout play by Canada. And Stasa Satsuna has looked very comfortable with the draws all game so far. I think they're going to have to play a few more in the second half if they want to get back into this one. And then in the 4th end, a super draw with Rachel Holman's first stone to the top of the 4-foot. Forced the error from the Latvian skip. There was a possible shot for 4 here, but played it on the safe side and still managed to score the 3. And that really blew this game wide open. 5-1 for Canada after 4. A force in the 5th end, and it's 5-2 in Canada's favour. Scotland-Sweden update. And there's a lot of red stones lying around here. Sweden currently leading by 5 shots to 1. And Maria Pritz with a huge opportunity here if she can make this run back. And she's absolutely nailed that one. Rolls into the rings for a good measure, and it's a score of 5 for Sweden. This one's over, folks. Sweden leading Scotland by 10 shots to 1 after 4 ends. Also, China trailing Switzerland by 4 shots to 1, and Russia leading Italy by 3 shots to 1.
Rischio andare sotto di 1. Se no questo e farne 1.
Canadians enjoying some well-deserved goodies. At half-time, they'll be feeling pretty relaxed and confident. I'm sure Errol Morris will just be reminding them to keep your concentration out there and see the game out.
It's just a little quicker, but it's also not slow in weird spots. Like, it's nice. They're gliding a bit at the end. Yeah.
You can actually carry rocks.
Like the first draw I threw around the corner, I threw less than I threw yesterday at any point, and it went back 12. We had to sweep it because of the line, but then the second one, it was nice. Like, you don't have to chuck them to get it. And you can wait to see a little bit.
I will see.
sākam?
Let's have a look at the stats before we resume play. Canada shooting a fantastic 90% in the first half of this game. Much more like the kind of stats you would expect to see from this Canadian side. Just weren't really at their best in the first draw yesterday. Latvia playing a respectable 74% as well, but they will need to play a little bit better than that if they want to have any chance of coming back in this game. So Latvia are going to have to put it all on the line now. Expect to see centre guards from Latvia and tech shots from Canada. And this is Dasa Munsa getting us underway in the second half of this fourth draw. If you have just joined us, this is the fourth draw of the 2013 Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships. And our featured game is Canada and Latvia. Canada big favourites in this one and looking dominant, leading Latvia by 5 shots to 2. This is Canadian lead, Lisa Weigel.
11. Oh, no, right off, Ali, with it.
We saw her make a very nice tick shot here in the third end. Can she do it again?
No, nothing.
Sorry, in the fourth end. Can she do it again here in the sixth end? Not quite. So one thing about playing the tick shot in this stage of the game, if you don't manage to make it, then you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble.
It was a better throw, but just didn't curl up.
Nulīti, bet tu pastūmi. Jā.
That's Munsa playing 77% in the first half of this game. So a nice tight guard thrown there by Latvia. Lisa Weigel having a very nice game. Playing 97%, obviously before she missed that tech shot there.
No, guys, never. Tons of line.
Line only.
We'll need to get this one in front of the tee line.
Still there.
Hard on, hard. Right over. Keep going. Hard.
Nice throw, Elise. Once it got near center, it kind of...
We didn't touch it.
Septiņi? Jā.
Sandra Beekshep playing 73%. Been a little bit erratic so far. So there have been moments of sheer brilliance or sheer lunacy so far. Just looking for a little more consistency in the second half of this game from Beekshep. And looks like she's played a really nice draw here to get off on the right foot in the second half of this game. Beautiful freeze.
Just the one?
Krevizok, 86%. They won't want to get sucked into that game around the centre guard, so going to start peeling.
Yeah, Logan, I think it's time now for Canada just to do the tidy up part of the game. Don't get too involved. Even if they're forced to score one here in the sixth, I don't think they'll be too worried to extend the lead to 4 once again.
Ok. Pirmo, otro. Jā, es domāju, ka jā.
Pirmā.
Pirmā. Pirmā. Otrā. Tu dai tu, jā. Jā. Otrā.
Jā, bet.
Pirmā, otrā.
So
Ho, trešā.
guard maybe coming up a little bit too close to the other yellow, which would mean you can remove both of them with a half stone peel. And both of them were removed, so no real cover for Latvia now. They do have that yellow stone on top of the red in the forefoot.
Eva Krusta playing 73% today. Kenny, how long will they be keen to protect that yellow and red stone in the forefoot rather than actually making a move on it right now?
I think you leave it till skip stones, maybe the first skip stones. You can't afford to leave it too late because then can't just guard it, and they're obviously sitting one already, and make it difficult for you to just maybe sit two. So I think you've got to think about it really with your skips first. Miscue 80%.
Tas bija tā 4-0 rast.
Again, continuing to just guard the red-yellow combination in the forefoot.
So this one's just crawling to a stop, maybe coming a little bit further in than they would have liked to. And certainly if they were going to come in, then it might be better freezing on the nose. Here's Eve Muirhead going after a potential deuce here in the fifth end. Nothing's really gone right for Team Scotland this afternoon. Trailing by 10 shots to 1. And this one's not even close from Eve Muirhead. It's going to be another steal in the fifth end. And somehow I can't see Scotland being out there much longer. Half-time in the game between Sweden and Scotland, and it's Sweden 11, Scotland 1. So let's take another look at that one as it comes down to impact. Really nice shot there by Emma Miscue. Releases that stone off the freeze and keeps both red stones in the house. So still gives them the chance to score big here.
Viens ir centrā, 8. zona. A ko tu gribi darīt, Ivet?
Dubultos.
Dubulto? Jā.
Viņas vienu neņem.
Jā.
Varbūt ņem.
Ok. Deviņi?
Jā.
Jā. Mierīgi. Labi.
Stas Hartsuna. 73% so far today. He's trying for the double there. Doesn't manage to make it. Does stick the shooter though. I think we'll see another takeout here from Rachel Homan. Quite happy to score here in the 6th end, especially if they can chuck a couple of points up.
You're wearing the wrong glove.
Sorry?
You're wearing the wrong glove.
What? Oh, I put it on backwards because this hand was getting cold. As if you noticed that. I just did it like 30 seconds ago.
How much reach? Up normal. Feels fine too.
Okay, so Team Canada enjoying themselves out there.
Okay.
Alison Krevizok's gone for something a little bit quirky. I think she's only got one glove with her. 97% for Rachel Homan so far today, matching her lead, Lisa Weigel. Yeah, Alison Krevizok's obviously only got a left-handed glove with her, and her right hand's cold, so she turned it inside out. And she's wearing her glove the wrong way around.
It really curls there. Wow. I like go hitting 3/4 and you hit 3/4 on the inside.
Okay.
Kopāš 9.
Jā.
Viņš var arī palikt pierē.
Jā,
Jā?
tā.
So you see Latvia there, shooting 2 against. Just try and hit and walk over onto the centre line.
Well, the good news is that I think Latvia have tried to play this shot before today, and it wasn't really close to the called shot. But it didn't really make this double before. Time though, super shot.
Yeah, certainly asks the question. So if you're Canada, do you get frisky with this one, or do you just peel it out?
Well, if they do hit this one on the nose, they're probably going to lose one. See the reaction from the Latvian skip. Certainly gives it some body English when she sends it down there. But going back to your question, Kenny, I think they're definitely going to err on the high side. If they manage to stick it around and score the 2, that's a bonus. But I think they know that if they score 1 in the 6th end, 4 up, scoring on the even ends, they're still in really good shape here.
Kind of weight range? Control. Okay.
Little stop! Yeah. Whoa, whoa! Little gas! Whoa! Hard! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, right off. Clean it. No! No!
And will it hang around? I think it might. It does. And it will be a score of 2 in the 6th end. The score now 7-2 in Canada's favour.
2. Good calling.
Thanks. Just a bit.
Jā. Klausies, varbūt es domāju, šitien ar to tavu pirmo.
(7-2) after 6 ends. Draw 4 here of the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Championship 2013. There you see it, some excellent hammer efficiency by the Canadians. Keeping the centre open and really using the corner guards well. Lisa Weigel, after a stellar first half of the match, kind of lost her way. Do you tend to see the ice conditions change after half-time at all?
I think you will see a little change. It might flatten out the pebble coming off the ice pad. Stones might just begin to pull up a little bit quicker. A little less curl maybe.
So Weigel looking to do a little bit better job here than her first stone.
Still gotta go. Okay. Don't kill yourselves. Top 8's fine. Top 4's good. So, it's too much.
Again, drifts past the tee line. Never get much from Lisa Weigel. Never know whether she's winning or losing or playing well or playing badly. Always looks pretty calm and keeping a cool demeanor out there. Went for the draw around the corner there, and even if it is a tight guard, then it could be a useful stone to Latvia. Big weight here from Alison Krevizuk.
Yeah, just peeling the guard off and keeping things tidy. So, over on sheet A, Switzerland leading 4-1 over China. Jun Wang trying to pick up the deuce here. Must be pretty close. Sweepers up and down on this one. Have they moved it enough? They have just, and they will pick up the two. They now trail 4-3 in that one.
Yeah?
I don't think it's there, Ali.
Okay.
They're really far apart.
Okay.
Diezgan žīgli tam aspēros.
So Bikshe. Interested to see if they're coming around this corner. Would you ever be tempted to freeze at this point, Kenny? Especially when you've got a stone as close to the rings as that, you can potentially split later on.
Possibly, but this young Canadian team throw the high hard ones so well that you'd expect maybe just to have nothing there at all. I think it would be removed from play if you try and freeze it. You've got to be so perfect as well. Oh, certainly popped that one. Emma Miscue.
Cam.
Does catch a piece of the guard though. So over on sheet D, Russia taking on Italy. Italy yet to get off to a win on the board. Gaspari for the Italians, trying to play a nose hit against 3, and she does it no problem at all. Picks up the single, and they now trail 5-2 for Russia.
Otra. Otra. Aizslīdēju uz trešo.
Really dirty. All right.
Cam.
Emma Miscue with a chance to spray both of these yellows. How's it look?
Nice throw in.
Super appealing by Emma Miscue. Makes them both go away and rolls the shooter as well. Just giving Latvia no chance whatsoever here.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can do now is just freeze this one on the button, maybe tap it back, or just hope for a mistake.
Would you ever consider blanking and just starting again in the next end, Kenny?
We trail by 5. We can't really afford to blank too many more ends. But there is a possibility to try and maybe blank it and take 2 or 3 in the 8th. Force 1, take 2 or 3 in the 9th. But Latvia really haven't had the opportunity to score any more than the single point.
Yeah, just bounces off the freeze there, and really is a golf in the experience between these two teams. Latvia, just a country in its infancy really in the world of curling. It's only had a national federation since 2001, and they do only have around 150 registered curlers in Latvia, with one dedicated 2-sheet ice rink in Riga. So certainly a few years before they're going to catch up on Canada. You would feel Canada, of course, was such a massive talent pool, really. So many players to pick from, so many curlers in Canada in general. That gives them a big advantage over a lot of the other nations, but especially the Latvians, with it being such a small curling country. This really is will be a great experience for these ladies this week at the Women's Worlds. So here's Latvian skip Stasat Sarsuna trying again for this freeze bump shot. No, certainly not going to be short this one.
Yeah, I think she's a slight rush of adrenaline with this one.
Going to do enough to tap it, but just a little bit too much speed to curl onto the nose.
So final score, Sweden, Scotland. That one finished 11-2 in Sweden's favour. Big 5 in the 4th end, really story of that game.
Yeah, there's only really one team playing on sheet C this afternoon. It certainly wasn't Scotland.
Yeah, what I would say is Scotland's Ian Muirhead wasn't left with much at all.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Lean it. Whoa, Alex. Should be okay. It's rolling out a little.
Kudde? Ja.
So Latvia, I think they're just
Septiņi.
playing the draw to the 4 foot with the rest up against the red on the centre line, just for their single
Nav lēnāks ledus.
here in the 7th.
Nē, 7-0. Iepriekš tu meti 7 ar mazu
Would you
astīti,
expect them
tagad
to
7-0.
continue here into the 8th if they pick up a single,
Nu,
Logan?
stipri arī nevar būt.
Jā.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth definitely playing another end and
Bet 7.
seeing how it goes. The final stone of the 7th end, Stasa Satsuna.
Nē.
8, 9.
You need to grip the fort.
Nē. Wow. Gaidām kritumu.
Again, perhaps a little bit hot.
8, 9.
Will it catch the backing here?
8, 9.
Needs to curl to catch the backing. Is it good enough?
Man liekas, sarkanais ir to.
I think she's maybe got away with that one. Finds the backing. It will be a score of 1 yellow confirmed by Emma Miskew. And after 7 ends, Canada utterly dominant, leading Latvia by 7 shots to 3.
Man nav laiks ieviņ.
Sēkam. Pirmā. Palīgā iet. Nē, pirmā. Līnijai.
Into the 8th end here at the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013 from Riga, Latvia. We are in the Volvo Sports Centre.
Your weight's really good, thanks.
We are in draw 4. Canada taking on Latvia. Canada leading 7-3. Canada playing Redstones, Latvia yellow. As we take a look at Team Canada lead. Lisa Weagle once again going for the split tick shot. And never ever too far away with them with this, Logan.
Well, even the one she missed a couple of ends ago, she only just squeezed by it. Well, they managed to sweep it in. Good commitment shown there by Coleman and Miskew.
Nē, ko. Nē. Tikai pirmo. Pārkrīt.
Pārkrīt, neko.
Tikai pirmo. Nē.
So all Latvia can really do after falling victim to one of those perfect tick shots from Lisa Weagle is just keep throwing those guards. And would you agree, Kenny, that maybe teams when they're throwing their centre guards, because they know that Lisa Weagle's so good at these shots, playing 82%, even with 3 tick shots in this game, that they maybe need to put their guards a little bit further away from the house, just to make them a bit tougher at least.
Yeah, you're probably right with that, Logan, yeah, because you don't want to bring the play in towards the house too early. So, a little less room for error if you put them just over the hog line. So that one was removed because we played the 4 rock free guard zone. Something that has been tried is the 5 rock, which means the first 5 stones, should they be short of the scoring area of the house, the circle area, can't be removed from play.
Otrā zona, jā?
Jā.
Ok. Galvenais ir dabūt garām pirmajam.
Otrā. Rūme. Otrā. Nē. Lum. Otrā. Nē. Līnijai. Otro, trešo. Pirmā, otro, trešo. Otro. Trešo.
Paldies, meitenes.
Okay, so good shot there by Latvia, knowing not to go into the rings quite yet. That guard is just a little bit too long, and staying patient and picking their moment to go in and try and make the steal.
See your broom. Yeah.
Sorry,
She had the intern. Is that good?
In?
Okay.
Here's how Krevizok and Bikshay match up. 91% for Krevizok. Oh, disaster here. Don't know if that one took a turn or something, but they didn't manage to catch the line there. And I'll go down as a 0 in the stat sheet.
Septiņi? Jā. Normāls. Diezgan plati rāda.
Līnijai.
Čaurāks!
Līnijai.
Līnijai. Ritīgi!
Vairāk. Rūme.
Chance for Latvia to play the draw and get something going.
Seši.
Well, this was a golden opportunity here for Latvia. Really needed to keep that one top of the tee line. I think Bikshay can quite believe it.
Maybe out. Out! It's predictable.
3/4. Nice throw, Ali.
Nice double peel, but does leave red corner guard.
Sorry?
That's more beneficial to Canada than Latvia. Latvia trying to clog up the centre line.
Sargu. Pirmā, otrā. Otrā.
Viņš tā stiprāk.
Otrā.
Tikai otro.
Otrā, trešā.
Nē.
So you've got Krista throwing another centre guard.
Trešā. Viņš tās pēc trešās.
Tikai otro. Nē.
Trešā.
Nē.
Well, a place that they have continued to throw guards would be real easy for them to call a takeout at that point. But they're obviously chasing the game. China and Switzerland. China 0-2, Switzerland 2-0. Final stone of the 7th end, and here's Silvana Turinsoni. Already leading by 4 shots to 3 against 2008 world champion Ping Yuang. Oh, and this is a terrific stone here by Townsoni. Sticks around, and it will be a 3-ball for Switzerland. So 7 ends played there, and China looking out of sorts, trailing Switzerland by 7 shots to 3. You at all surprised to see China losing their way a little bit, Kenny? They finished 11th last year and not getting off to a good start this year. Really struggling to qualify for the Olympics now.
Watching them yesterday evening, certainly not surprised. They weren't throwing clean stones at all. Tactically a little naive, I would say. We need to go back to the drawing board. Certainly spend a bit more time in the ice rink. They are full-time curlers though. So maybe just not practicing the right things.
Well, I think maybe hit the nail on the head with the tactical naivety, just needing a little bit of assistance there. Just they kind of go a little bit from all-out negativity to all-out aggression, and there's no real balance in their play, so could be something they need to work on. But our featured game is between Canada and Latvia here in Draw 4 at the Volvo Sports Arena in Riga, and Canada just in cruise control at the moment, leading by 7 shots to 3.
We can roll up for your guard, same weight.
Now Miskew outplaying Eva Krusta, 86 to 74. I think Ken will have thrown too many draws today. I can remember one going around the corner guard and going a little bit deep, but mostly takeouts for Canada.
It's fairly straight there. Okay. Not sure why.
Tas bija tas, ko Nikola teica. Mēs varam likt, teiksim, kaut kādu...
Tas bija tas
šitas te.
Blocked.
Jā. Tas tāpat, ko mums vajag divus tuvāk, viņam divus meitnes.
Jā.
Pēdējais jāliek.
Jā. Bet viņām ir pēdējais, jā?
Vakar bija tieši tas pats.
Jā, jā. Ok.
Paskaties, kā
Jā?
Jā, labi.
aizbūs ir noslēpts pie tā borta, laukuma un pie līdzi, pie kreisā borta no mums, laukuma un līdzi.
Galvenais mums
Okay,
pat
so-
tuvāk uz šito
Jā,
dabūt,
jā,
šito
jā.
te.
Latvia choosing to go around the corner. Do you think there's any merit in throwing another guard here, Kenny?
Jā.
Būs labi, būs labi.
Probably not. I think you've got to go around the corner, hope for a slight mistake, and then try and block things up and hope that Rachel Homan misses the draw.
Perhaps one of those moments where you just try and make it, Rachel play against as many of your counters as possible and hope for a hit and roll out and go for the steal that way.
Es domāju, kaut kādu
Rather than the use of center guards.
zilajā, jā?
Jā, pilni zilajā.
Tev ir nokritis. Jā? Tu nesties, tas ir
Jā,
Zandra.
jā. Tas ir Zandra. Pieci?
7-5, jā. Bet nu ne ātrāk, labāk uz leju tur. Žiglāks. Oi.
Astotā!
Klāsies, meitenes.
Astotā! Piekto, sesto! Astotā! Piekto, sesto! Astotā! Septītā! Septītā!
This one coming in pretty deep.
Kur mēs braucam?
I've liked it. Hopefully
Jā,
it
jā, jā!
does leave a nice pocket for Rachel Homan just to follow that one down.
Buried. We could draw here. We're not shot.
Viņš, jā.
We could freeze.
Sure.
So what do you like here, Logan?
Just
Would
let it
you
be
be
simple.
tempted just
Okay.
to play the nose hit,
Try to hit
or
the
would you
nose.
try and come
Yeah.
around?
Sure. Let's try and hit nose.
Well, I don't mind the nose hit here. You might have an opportunity to bring that red into play on the edge of the 12-foot circle on the other side with a double takeout on the last stone. Another option would be probably to freeze the shot stone that they're going to hit just now. There's Errol Morris watching on what he thinks of all this. But, yeah, I don't mind this call here. nose hit from Rachel Holman. Latvia will have to roll away if they don't want to leave up a double takeout for Rachel Holman's last stone to score 2.
Nice throw.
Laikam gribēja kaut kā...
Es domāju, ka viņi gribēja, lai viņš
slēpties.
Es tā, kaut kā, jā.
Nevar saprast, viņi ir tagad vienā līnijā. Nezinu, kas višķiņas. Nu, tu gribi tā kā rulēties uz centru?
Jā.
Look at the broom.
There we take a look at Rachel Holman, 92%.
9.
Great shooting. On this one, all the way down. And they have hit and rolled in behind.
Yeah, now the question is, where does that corner guard sit in relation to those 2 yellows?
Krita, nu, viņš bija lēnāks, es domāju.
Sure, Rachel knows if she scores in this end, the game's pretty much dead.
I think this is the time where you just ignore this.
The ice
and
drop to them.
Yep. Like misuse call, just ignore it.
Just want to see if you can see it. I can see all plus. I can actually almost see the back yellow. What? Like I can see the crotch.
I don't think you have, like you have to hit.
Do you want to just throw control?
If you like it.
I think MSQ's
Can you see that side yellow?
wanting to throw the draw. Rachel Holman's wanting to throw the hit. I think this is one where you just throw the draw, Logan.
Is it edge on edge?
Pretty much, yeah.
It's edge on edge. Might be there.
Okay, if you like it.
Control, or do you like down normal?
Gets control.
Yeah, okay.
Here?
Yeah. A little less.
Okay, so gonna throw
Maybe
the
a shot
control
for two?
takeout.
Maybe.
Okay.
How much? Forward?
Control.
Control. Okay.
Well, there's no doubt with the shots there, Kenny.
Okay,
Like,
let's make
once
sure we
again,
get our
it's
one.
Choose a bonus.
really one of those shots you can err on
Girls a lot here.
such a side that you can still score one and not risk giving up a score here. So, almost positive Rachel Holman will not be wrecking on the guard here.
No, nothing.
So this one's got a lot of curling to do. Will it hang around?
Okay, Rach.
So Latvia do steal one.
Yeah.
So after 8 ends, Canada leading 7-4.
Just like set on
Spēkam, nē. Pirmā.
Tassimans starts us off in the 9th end. Latvia now only trailing by 3 to Canada, but they do still have probably an insurmountable task ahead of them.
Okay.
Throw the long guard once again. Just a wiggle. Throw the tick shot.
anything because they're just floating.
Okay.
Yes, that one just slips right past. Interesting tactic that, always to go for the tick.
It's heavy.
Well, going through.
Riga's going to make more and more of them.
Līnijai vai! Trešo. Līnijai vai viņš pārkrīt tādā. Tikai trešo. Jā. Labs darbs.
That's super set-up play.
Yeah, that's great separation. And the home crowd appreciating that great play.
Nu jā, nu es jau atkal nevaru vairs tajā pusē iet.
Looks really heavy. Wait. Where? Is it heavy?
On its own. Back.
Oh, what?
We're back in.
I don't know.
Just one.
It's like two. Oh, sit.
Okay.
Wow, I'm amazed that that came down onto the tee line. Looked like it was absolutely flying down the ice there. And I don't think Canada will be too excited about seeing that one on the tee line. If Latvia could ever make a freeze on that red stone on the button, then could have a real chance to steal here once again in the ninth end.
Tikai spēks. Līnijai. Aiziet. Tuvāk. Dabū. Aiziet. Okay, labi.
Nepārkrīt pa daudz.
Comes up a touch shy.
Just clean them out of your hand when they're heavy and they're just floating.
Yeah, so Latvia got that double guard on. Just probably need to play tap back with this one, just nudge it back of the forefoot.
Another option would be to throw the long guard again and just run a few stones down. Yeah, that's so good with the big weight. Keep your stones reasonably spread out, as you said before, Kenny. I think we may see a few yellow stones fly around here.
Where do you want me to hit it? Where am I hitting it? Sorry? Nose.
Be an option to hit this quarter stone and try and spin all three of these yellow stones and the shooter. Maybe going for a nose double here.
And it does remove two yellows, but leaves a red out top.
Gribētu nākt iekšā.
Jā, ejam. Liekas, ka mums
Vai
ir
vēl
jāiet.
liekam vienu sargu?
Jā, labi.
Pirmo.
Get on it a bit earlier.
Pirmo.
Labi.
Okay, so manages to scatter those two stones half checked in front of the house. Would you like to roll our shooter away a little bit more?
Otrā. Mēs sasinkroni. Otrā, trešā pat. Otrā, trešā. Trešā. Otrā.
So it looks again like they're trying for the guard. Can they keep it high enough? Probably does enough to ensure that there's going to be one guard staying there. Maybe with enough weight, MMSQ can get these going.
Nu, izņemot tās reizes, kad nevar
But
lēnāk.
here's Bing Yuang on sheet 8.
菜菜量有点小。
Trailing by 7
菜菜
shots to
菜
3.
菜哦，
Final stone of the 8th
拍
end.
起来哦，菜菜哦，哟，拍起来 yes， 拍。
How does this one look? Good sweeping. Doesn't manage to hold it on the high side for 2. And it will be a force in the 8th end for China. Very much looking like they might suffer their 3rd loss of the week. Now trailing Switzerland by 7 shots to 4. An aggressive call here by Canada. Perhaps just wanting to see this one off. Goes around the centre guards, Emma Miskew. Just having to sweep this one for line more than anything. Over curls, and maybe a good freeze here could put Latvia in the driving seat here in the 9th end.
And that one doesn't get around either. So, what do you do now, Logan? Do you go for the guards or do you come around again?
You can certainly get a few of these guards moving. Gotta say, I don't think the Latvians have anything on the in-turn side at the moment.
Out-turn, right?
So they could throw something just kind of into the 12-foot circle on the out-turn, but choosing to go for the
No,
peel.
I like it. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Rachel Holman just checking her angles here. Should maybe get all of the guards going here.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa.
This looks really solid when she's sliding out at these peels.
Yep. Whoa, whoa.
Looks like she can smoke a cigar when she's sliding with a stone.
Throw him.
Great shot.
These rocks were weird. Huh? They were like both moving. That was kind of odd. It's pretty weird. I don't know what happened there. It really smells like garlic over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so manages to remove 2 of the yellows, slide through, and it's time for the Latvians to call a timeout.
Time out.
Hey.
Time out. Laiks iet uz priekšu. Nu, zin kā, likt klāt. Mēs jau nevaram tuvāk būt.
Jā, mēs nevaram tuvāk būt.
Gribētos
So
tā, ka
Nicole Strada will make her way down onto the ice for Team
Nē, nu
Latvia.
teorētiski viņš labi krīt, ja tu trāp viņam bišķi pa šo malu, viņš izsitābus un pats paliek šeit. Jo viņš jau
Nē,
praktiski...
abus mēs nevaram izsiet. Bet vismaz tā, ka mūsējais paliek šeit priekšā, viņām ir viens. Nu, tā viņa lai domā,
I
ko
think
darīt.
the call is just to come around and
Nē, tad vaigo
on
spēku.
the in-turn, maybe tap it back to the back of the floor. There's no need to play the hit. I think you've got to use the red stones as
Nē, nu,
protection.
principā viņš jāsit 9, lai ar garantītas sotus iziet ārā.
We are thinking like that there's like...
To draw as a freeze or just step back with...
Freeze is not enough. We
Yeah,
have
to-
to tap it back to be shot after this stone. So you
It's
need to
very hard to-
basically play just back 4, not more, back 4.
But we will not be in scoring because back 4, this 5th stone will stay. It's not enough.
Okay, but try to play back 4. Maybe a bit more, but not much more, and hit it on the nose.
So the second stone could stay in the rings, or we have to remove it out.
Yes, it can stay in the 4 foot.
Okay.
Yes. So basically on the nose of the number 5
So
shot.
we can play a freeze or little.
You need to tap it a bit. It needs to be back.
Yeah, so that's the correct call, coach. Doing a good job. So I'm pleased to hear them speaking English and we're describing the shot there. You heard it all.
Jā, nu tad tādu arī.
Atnāca back 8, bet tādu pašu, jā. Tā, back 4, tas būtu.
Back 4 foot is the call.
3 būtu 7.
Yeah, absolutely. The key here is just to try and create a pocket, come down onto the nose of it and just push the red back, leave the red side by side. And I don't know if entirely agree that they need to be shot after this stone, but they certainly need to leave it in a very usable position for their last shot.
Jā, tas bija un rādīja pat vēl stiprāk, man liekas.
Jā, bet šitas var būt vājāk.
Jā.
6?
Ar 8. 6 ar 8. Mierīgi. Stiprāks.
Sarsuna just trying for a kind of back forward, back hit, push these reds around.
8, 9.
Just changing the angles really.
8, 9.
Nē.
8, 9.
Nē.
Gaidām. Sarkanos to varam pabeigt.
Nearly does enough. Just had caught that on the other side, it would have been perfect. Maybe just a couple of feet too much running on that one. But here's Russia and Italy. Russia leading by 5 shots to 2. And Italy with a great chance for a multiple score here in the 8th end. Some good facials from Diana Gaspari. A terrific shot here to score 2. Gets 3 of those red stones moving and leaves 2 in the 4-foot. They will close the gap on Russia, but after 8 ends and without last stone advantage, a lot of work to do. Russia 7, Italy 4.
Try and hit and roll under.
How much?
Normal.
Okay.
I think the back, like the red will stay, I think. Everything thinks it'll go.
Okay.
As long as we can get under, it's fine.
Exactly. Normally.
Yes! Hard! Hard!
A bit of a panic sweep here. Doesn't want to wreck the guards. Sneaks it by. And does pick it out, but does push their own redstone back on the T line. And now this is a great chance for Latvia to make the freeze.
Sorry, I needed to straighten it, but I was too nervous. It was couldn't hang. My God.
Here's past the top one. You see just that little skiff on the redstone and the T line, pushes it back of the T and opens up the pin for the freeze. And if Stasa Sarsuna could ever lock one on the face here of that redstone, it's really difficult to see how Canada can score here.
Tikai līnija.
Tikai spēkam.
Tikai spēku. Līnija nav.
Spēkam nē. Spēkam nē. Spēkam nē.
This is a great freeze. Oh, super.
And how do you get shot stone out of this one, Kenny? Just look at this one glide down. Speed coming out of it and taking a right turn right onto the face of that redstone on the button. really difficult for Rachel Homan to score here.
Sorry?
Throw it away.
You want to try and hit it?
Well, if you want to. It's not going anywhere, but...
Do you think it just goes by?
I think if we even catch it, it's on this side.
Okay.
So I'm not convinced what they're looking at here. Don't know if they actually have a shot, Logan.
Throw it
Do
away.
you want to try and come off the yellow?
Okay.
Try something?
Just try some sort of in-off.
Yeah, that was always the risk that Rachel Holman was taking by putting stones in the forefoot and certainly leaving the guards at one point.
Yeah, it's not even there.
It's not there on the front one either, eh?
What?
Those overlapped ones, it's not there on the outside? No. Okay.
So really just throwing this one away.
Yep. Oh, yep.
No shortage of speed in this one, just trying to flick this white yellow. It's a fraction thick. And it's another steal for Latvia. And just a two-shot game all of a sudden. Stasis Arsuna with two great stones to complete the 9th end. Moving into the 10th end. Canada, their lead trimmed to 2. Canada 7, Latvia 5.
Pārkrīt nevar.
Okay.
So here we are for the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013 into the 10th end of Canada-Latvia. Canada leading 7-5. And Lisa Weigel. Are they going for the tick this time, Logan?
You better believe it, Kenny. They've been doing it all game and there's no reason to stop now. It's not really been working out for them the last couple of ends though, and it has led to consecutive steals for Latvia. They're a little bit cautious with the speed on this one. Just push that yellow stone over and leave a red stone hanging around that center line that they'll want to keep open during this 10th end. We'll see Latvia guarding that red stone if they have any sense.
Trešā, tā ir stiprāks.
Nē, pirmo otro.
Stiprāks. Trešā.
Nē. Neko. Neko. Nē.
Labi. Ko viņi darīs?
So going for the tick the other way.
Do you want to punch it that way?
Or do you want to peel ours?
Well, it's hard for them to throw a guard. We can double peel that.
Okay.
Which way do you want to come?
Whatever you like.
I think you've probably got, if you're
Nāc, uzvelc šķību un nāc
Gotta
uz
do anything,
šejienu.
Logan. I think you've got to
Es nevaru paņemt šķību.
Zandei
throw the
gatavoju.
peel or
Aizej viņu otrā pusē.
go top of the forefoot. You don't really need to play the tick shot with this. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Cross the face. Yep, back line.
Well, they're going after the tick shot. Surprised they're not going for just a straight peel on that red stone. Open up the left-hand side of the sheet as Lisa Weagle looks at it.
Okay. Wait, good.
Close. Yep. Hard.
So it must be pretty close to this one.
Hard.
Really curling hard.
Nice throw.
And chips it over a little bit. Holds the shooter as well. So much of that shot is just how much weight you throw. So China and Switzerland still going at it on sheet 8. And ninth end, here's Silvana Turinsoni.
Whoa! Nai! Whoa! Whoa!
Goes for the double. Will only pick the one, and it's a steal in the ninth end. A much needed one for China, and they will still trail Switzerland going into the 10th end by 2 shots. Switzerland 7, China 5.
So I think they're going to play the upweight, the run through maybe, just try and spill both of these guards and run right down through into the house as well. I don't think you need to overcomplicate things and go for all 3. You could end up sticking your guard right on the centre line.
Whoa! No, never.
So Krevzuk trying to get 2 moving at least.
Yeah, great shot.
Manages to spin one through there and into the rings. And we've got a final score on sheet D. Russia have seen off the Italians by 9 shots to 4. And will bounce back nicely after a disappointing loss earlier on today against Germany.
Whoa! Whoa!
Outra. Fica aí o outro. Linha.
Oh.
Okay, so Latvia will persevere with the centre guards. Krevzuk with a chance to really get some granite flying here. Trying to rip this guard across the top.
Nice throw. Can't even see it there. I was like, oh, in the way. Wait, you can't see it.
Facing the Canada line 2 here in this 10th end. Ken, are you want to favour the corner guard strategy when you're trying to steal 2 in the 10th end?
Yeah, I mean, I've employed that a few times. It's certainly worked for me. I think you just maybe force teams to play against 2 or 3. Just gets in the back of your mind that they've got to make that shot. They don't have the extra end. Should they fail to make it, they'd lose the game if they failed to make it, and it just adds that little bit of pressure, and ultimately they could end up overthrowing it and pick up the 2 or 3.
Whoa! Yeah! Hard! Hard! Whoa!
Makes the double peel and even manages to squeeze that Yellowstone between the 2 reds at the back.
Sorry? It was nice.
Didn't even feather those reds. I don't think Emma Misker can quite believe her own luck. But even if it did jam on that wide one, I don't think it would have been too concerned. Even spins a yellow at the side of the rings for good measure as well. So now Latvia really on their last legs here. Going to try and freeze something on the wing here. But starting to look like a lost cause for the Latvians. It was probably that way quite a long time ago, Kenny, but Canada have left the door open a couple of times for Latvia, and they have punished them for it.
Yeah, kind of just laboured a little bit, but they've contributed to their own undoing, really. They've got involved in things they didn't need to.
Well, Kenny, even going back to the 8th end, Rachel Woman had a chance to draw for 1, or she had a difficult shot for 2. Went after the shot for 2 and hit and rolled out.
Nice throw.
And that was the beginning of it. Didn't even have a shot to score in the 9th end.
Pistol on your first. Pistol on your first.
But it looks like they're going to come through this one unscathed.
Maybe
not the most convincing performance we've ever seen from Rachel Homan's team, but doesn't matter. Looks like they're going to chalk up a win in this 4th draw. And maybe the Latvians can play a couple of nice shots to finish here to give the home support something to cheer about.
Glocks?
No.
Vegas.
Lops.
Okay. Vegas.
That's a... They could still have scored the 2 in the end, but also feel the probability that's pretty slim. And they make the concession here in the 10th end. Final score here in draw 4, Canada 7, Latvia 5.
That was weird. Thanks. You heard he shot.
Some great support in the Volvo Sports Centre for the Latvians. They could pull off the big upset that they were all looking for. Rachel Homan gets off to her first win of the 2013 World Championships. So we're just going to nip over for the concluding stones of the game next door. Only game left out there. Switzerland leading China by 7 shots to 5. Looks like the Swiss are in a bit of a predicament here. China lying 3, and they do have a centre guard up here in a very useful position. So maybe this game not quite over yet. I tell you, Switzerland have around 5.5 minutes left on their clock, so they can spend some time discussing this. Just 2 shots left to play. So the decisions here, could choose to peel the guard, or could make a play in the house on these 2 red stones. Try and blow that centre guard wide open. Zoni's going to be throwing a good bit of weight down here, maybe trying to hit the first stone around the half stone contact, smash it across the top of that red and get them both out of there. Really like to be facing 3 red stones coming to our last one. So a nice attempt by Ternzoni, missed line call though by Albrecht, and Betty Wang with a chance to get another one in there. And makes Switzerland draw for the game.
14秒，14秒5。
Okay, so Yuang, the 28-year-old,
力量够，力量还可以。这一
doesn't
球我
want
觉得
to
稍滑
suffer
一点，
a
带着
third
点就行
consecutive。defeat to
只
start
要
the
是
week
线
here.
啊，力量够可以放。6区下线操，要全力，嗨，踩加油！下线踩要全力，嗨，全力
Yes, they were the 2009 world champions,
踩要！
2008 silver medalists. She would have liked to do a little bit better than that one. So, options, turn zone 8. Could just play the draw, or could try and make this double takeout on the wing.
Ich spiele auch lieber den Take. Von innen? Von innen, oder was?
Kannst du auch außen?
Aussen weiss ich nicht genau, wie es läuft. Sven, dort!
Was willst du am liebsten? Willst du lieber Nase oder lieber ein bisschen innen? Also einfach ein bisschen innen.
Lieber ein bisschen innen.
Gut.
Ist gut so?
Ja.
Well, looks like turn zone 8 doesn't want to risk losing the game right here. She's going to
Achterhand.
make sure that worst case she's going to get an extra end and call the takeout. That's a reasonably short raise. And especially if there's any nerves here, maybe a better option to go for the takeout. Silvana Tirensoni having a really good game, playing 85%.
Whoa! Whoa!
That's terrific.
Whoa!
Shooting by the Swiss skip.
Achtung, Tier!
Currently 2-0. Are they going to go 3-0 right here? They certainly are. Super shot by Tirensoni. That one's going to trickle through the back and over the back line. And it's a score of 1 in the 10th end. And
Thank you, good game.
many people picking Switzerland this week, but off to a hot start. 3 wins and no losses. Well, 2009 world champions China, they're going to drop to 0 wins and 3 losses, and lots to do if they want to claim some of those all-important Olympic points this week. Clearly thrilled with the start they made this week. Tirensoni looking pretty relieved. And that concludes the 4th draw here at the Volvo Sports Centre in Riga, Latvia. The Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. Our next draw is at 7 o'clock this evening for draw 5. I'm sure there'll be more exciting drama live here from Riga. Of course, if you have just joined us at the end, our featured game was between Canada and Latvia. And let's have a look at how the second half unfolded. Here was Stasa Sarsuna. Needs to find the 8-foot relay to keep the game alive. And some good sweeping. Drags this one down onto the top of the 1-foot circle. And at half-time, it was Canada 5, Latvia 2. On to the 6th end, and
It was a little tight, but
Bowman
it's
had
still super whole.
a chance to score 2, with the delicate, soft weight takeout.
Yeah.
Had to hang around the edge of the 8 foot to score 2. And did she ever. Perfect shot by Rachel Homan, and 2 reds go on the board. And that would be the last time that Canada scored in this game, leading by 7 shots to 2. And in the 7th end. Drawing for 1, Stasa Sarsuna. Needed a little bit of backing here. And just caught enough of it to stick around. And that was that. Final score, 7 shots to 5 in favour of Canada. Elsewhere in this 4th draw, China falling to Switzerland by 8 shots to 5. Sweden thrashing Scotland by 11 shots to 2. And Russia beating Italy by 9 shots to 4. So let's have a look at how that affects the overall standing. Switzerland out on top, 3 wins and no losses. Germany and Sweden also undefeated. Well, host nation Latvia, Italy and China will be back later to try and find their first win. Let's see what Rachel had to say about the game.
Rachel, first win, how important was it to get off to a good start after your first defeat last night?
It's really important for us to keep on winning. Obviously, we want to try and make playoffs first, and then once we're in playoffs, take it from there.
So Latvia, were you a little surprised at the ability and the skill of the girls?
No, I'm not. I don't really know anything about their team. Never played them before, but we knew they were going to give us a tough game, and the crowd was definitely cheering for them. So we knew it was going to be a tough game.
Your call on 8 where you gave up the steal. I think Emma was wanting to play the draw at the 4. Are you regretting the playing the hit now?
Sorry?
The draw, you elected to play the hit in 8 and you gave up the steal. Emma was probably looking to play the draw.
Oh, no, the draws are tough on this ice right now. It's fresh ice and it's not very consistent at this point. So as the ice gets worked in, it'll be better and better. And I wanted to make sure that we weren't going to give up a steal of 2 and at least guarantee only a steal of 1. And if we make the hit, then that 1 point's ours. So just being more conservative.
Okay, Denmark tonight. How is you and your team going to prepare for that game?
Same as every game. There's not going to be much difference. Just learning from our mistakes as we go along and learning the ice and learning the rocks. And it'll be another good game tonight.
Okay, good luck and thanks for talking with us.
Well, there you have it, the thoughts of winning skip Rachel Homan after defeating home nation Latvia in this 4th draw of the Titlis Glacier Mountain World Women's Curling Championships 2013. From myself, Logan Gray and Kenny Edwards, thanks for watching and join us for more coverage at 7 PM this evening.